We start tonight with breaking news from the Far East County, where crews are battling a rapidly growing wildfire. This is a live shot of what's being called the McCain fire. This started just a few hours ago near Boulevard around Interstate 8 and McCain Valley Road.
Now, just moments ago, CAL FIRE told us that flames have burned at least 714 acres, and this fire does have the potential to grow even bigger. There's a lot of land out there, a lot of dry brush. It is very hot. It is forward spreading at a moderate rate, so that is good news. But in just the last couple hours, we have seen this fire really grow and explode. Now, we're told that a car caught fire in that area, and then that fire spread to some nearby brush. Although the official cause is still under investigation right now, the concern is putting out these flames. People at the nearby De Anza Springs Resort, which is just a few miles east of this location, they have been evacuated, and a temporary evacuation point is at the Golden Acorn Casino.
Again, this fire, the McCain fire, they're calling it, has burned about 714 acres, but it's grown fairly rapidly from just 20 acres a little before to 714 now. We have a crew on the way to the scene, and we will keep you updated with this story. It's the latest that crews have dealt with today, the latest fire, rather. There have been several. Another near Lake Marina in Campo broke out around 11 a.m. At last check, officials say that burned about 43 acres and is now 5% contained.
Stay with us throughout this newscast for the latest on these wildfires. We will also share any updates on our website, CBS8.com, and you can follow us on social media for the latest or download our free CBS 8 app.
That July 2024 shall be San Diego LGBTQ Pride Month in the city of San Diego.
Our other top story today marks the first day of San Diego Pride Month, the 50th year of the local celebration. A special ceremony was held at City Hall downtown this morning to start off the month of festivities.
CBS 8's Kelly Hessedall reports from Hillcrest with more on the kickoff of this year's celebration. Kelly?
Yeah, and this is a fun time of year. The Pride Parade is something San Diegans look forward to every year, and this being the 50th anniversary, we also take a look back.
50 years ago, a small group here in San Diego, but very brave brothers and sisters of the LGBTQ community got together and organized the first ever Pride Parade. And thank you, Nicole Murray Ramirez, and everybody else who's here who was there in the beginning. It was so illegal then that many had to wear a bag over their heads so that they couldn't be identified. That's how much times have changed.
The 12th floor of City Hall was packed full of people wearing bright colors and waving pride flags who say this city has come a long way.
My late good friend, the Reverend George Walker Smith, rightfully called San Diego the Mississippi of the West Coast, with people of color and Jews not allowed or welcome in certain San Diego neighborhoods.
This year's Pride theme, Making History Now. Mayor Todd Gloria recognized the Pride honorees. City leaders also proclaimed July as Pride Month.
It was one of our former Congress members, Susan Davis, who held the first hearing to end Don't Ask, Don't Tell. That was a San Diego elected representative that said we are going to undo this injustice, and she got that done. Again, San Diego has been on the forefront of the LGBT civil rights movement for decades now.
Today, Councilmember Marnie Von Wilpert shared her own personal story.
Last year, I came out as part of the LGBTQ community, and I have been met with the most love you'd ever want to see. Yep. And so I want to recognize the love that is here in San Diego and the acceptance. You know, to me, the antidote to hate is not tolerance. The antidote to hate is love.
And here in Hillcrest, you can see the flag is flying high in honor of Pride Month. So this is a time of year that means a lot to some people here in our community. Now, they mentioned how the Pride Parade used to draw just dozens of people. It now draws hundreds of thousands of people from all over the world.
Thanks, Kelly. Here at CBS 8, we're proud to partner with San Diego Pride, and for the first time, we're going to be airing the parade live on the CW San Diego.
You can watch our live broadcast on Saturday, July 20th, starting at 10 a.m. Carlo, Evan, and I will be out there, and we'll also be live streaming the parade on CBS 8 Plus and on all of our digital platforms. For more information, visit cbs8.com/pride. A South Bay plastic surgeon is now pleading guilty to involuntary manslaughter after a patient of his died during surgery. It is part of a plea deal in which Carlos Chacon also agreed to a 3-year prison term and a lifetime ban of his California medical license. Chacon was charged with murder and was set to go on trial next week. The charge stems from an operation in 2018 when Megan Espinoza went into cardiac arrest during breast implant surgery. Documents say Chacon waited 3 hours to call 911. Espinoza's family filed a wrongful death and medical malpractice suit against Chacon and settled out of court.
Drivers, get ready to pay more for gasoline. Today, the state's gas tax is rising again, this time by 2 cents. You'll now be paying nearly 60 cents a gallon in state taxes, with a total of $1.31 a gallon in total taxes and fees. On average, Californians pay roughly $300 a year in state gas taxes, the highest gas tax in the country. Officials say most of the state and federal gas tax revenue goes toward highways, freeways, roads, and repairs. This morning, the average gas price in San Diego was $4.83 a gallon. Now that it's July 1st, there are several new laws taking effect. One we've been telling you about will limit how much money renters will have to come up with for their security deposit. CBS 8's Regina Yurita explains why landlords oppose the new law.
Yeah, that's correct. And today is the first day that renters will receive even more legal protection. So this new law actually caps the amount a landlord could charge for a security deposit. Now this law would have them charging the equivalent of 1 month's rent. According to the new law, it takes into consideration how much tenants in most cases are paying on a security deposit. According to Zillow, San Diego's average monthly rent now exceeds $3,000 a month. So landlords have sometimes charged 3 months' rent depending on an applicant's credit score. Based on the average rent in San Diego, this could exceed $9,000. The new law does go into effect today, but many property owners are opposed to it, warning that capping how much landlord can charge up front could lead to more rental housing being pulled from the market. The California Apartment Association argues that it will further limit a property owner's ability to financially cover property damage or unpaid rent. But tenants, they're saying something else. They say they see this as a way to increase access to rental housing and help more Californians avoid homelessness.
Nobody has that big hunk of cash to lay down to get into an apartment, you know, usually.
Any act to help people trying to get a new home or new place, I'm all for it.
And so starting today, California will be the 12th state in the nation with a law like this that caps landlords from the amount that they are charging for a security deposit. For now, we're in Kearny Mesa. I'm Regina Yurita, CBS 8.
Thanks, Regina. And a reminder that today is the final day to pay your property taxes. After today, your bill will be considered delinquent, and you'll have to pay a $33 redemption fee plus a 1.5% penalty for every month your property tax goes unpaid. Your payment had to be postmarked by today's date if you were mailing it, and so that time has passed. It is after 6 now, but you still have time to pay online. You have until midnight to do so and avoid those penalties. More than 40% of that property tax money will go towards schools across the county. The 4th of July is just a few days away, and law enforcement is reminding everyone to stay safe. That includes San Diego's lifeguards, who say they have a zero-tolerance policy for safety concerns of the upcoming holiday.
In most cases, these accidents are preventable. So if it's your boat, it's your responsibility. You need to know if you're going to let somebody use your boat, be careful because they're going to be as responsible as you are supposed to be.
Patrols will be out on the water handing out citations. Issues that could get their attention include registration that is not properly displayed, not having enough life jackets on board for the number of people you have on your watercraft, and not having your boating card. Some mistakes may even lead to the impounding of your boat. The city of San Diego is increasing its pool repair budget over the next 3 years.
The CBS 8's Isabella Roberts tells us renovations are set to begin at the end of summer.
As San Diego heats up, more and more people will be coming to community pools like Claremont. Now they, along with several other pools in the city, will be receiving some money for some much needed repairs. Over the next 3 years, the city of San Diego's budget for pool repairs will grow from $3 million to $12 million.
That whatever they're going to utilize the money for, I think it'll be beneficial to everyone.
Chanel Thomas signed her kids up for swim lessons at Kearney Mesa's community pool, where $1.2 million is going to be spent on repairs.
It's amazing that the city is prioritizing that. It allows kids that do not have the opportunities to have a swimming pool to be able to come here and utilize the swimming pool here in their communities.
The first two pools to be renovated will be Claremont, where the budget will be $1.2 million, and the Martin Luther King Jr. pool in Encanto with a budget of $750,000. The work at the two pools will be partly funded by a state grant that's separate from the budget increase. Both are expected to start improvements after the summer season. 5 pools are getting more than $1 million from the deal. $1.2 million for the Claremont pool, $1.5 million for the Carmel Mountain pool, $1.3 million for the Swanson pool in University City, $1.3 million for the Kearney Mesa pool, and $1.5 million for the Tierra Santa pool. The Vista Terrace pool in San Isidro will be getting $750,000 as well. The city tells me that following the pools in Claremont and Encanto, repairs will be addressed on a case-by-case basis as the funds become available when the pools are closed for the season. Thomas hopes that these repairs allow for patrons to enjoy a dip in the pool.
I hope that more families come and utilize this opportunity with this grant that they received so that all kids can learn how to swim.
In San Diego, Isabella Roberts, CBS 8.
Thanks, Isabella. Much more ahead, including the record-breaking holiday travel expected this week.
And we'll have the latest on a powerful hurricane making landfall.
We are talking about a whole lot of heat in our forecast. On closer towards the coast, we're seeing that marine layer start to roll right back in. Heat alerts have been issued for most inland areas, and we're also talking about some high surf that's going to coincide with that. We'll take a look at your complete forecast ahead.
We know how.
We also know why. After 40 years, you continue to trust Bill Howe.
Because we get the job done right the first time.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE.
Bill Howe.
Because we know how.
This is what Bill calls home, and this is what Janice calls office. And by day, it's the home office. But sometimes, it's the guest room. California Closets design this space with purpose by listening to Janice and to Bill, whose parents sleep here when they're in town visiting. From here. This is a stapler. Nobody wants to look at a stapler. This is where it goes. This is where Janice gets her energy. This is where Bill gets his. This is Janice's home office and Bill's and the guest room. This is who helped make it happen. Schedule your free design consultation now.
The Kia Summer Sticker Sales Event is on now at Kearney Mesa Kia.
Smooth and easy buying.
San Diego's #1 Kia dealer.
Show off what you're driving.
Say goodbye to gas this summer in a new EV6. Now only $189 per month. Or hit the road in style in a Forte LXS for just $149 a month. $149 per month.
Kearney Mesa Kia is easy to find on Claremont Mesa east of 805.
Hi, I'm injury attorney Ann Fong. At Fong Law, all of our clients are important to us. Whether your case is worth $15,000 or $15 million, we'll fight just as hard with the same level of care. And remember, when something goes wrong, call Ann Fong at 866-GOT-PAIN.
It's good to get some fresh air.
Fresh air?
Hi, guys.
Bill, you look great.
Now that I have Inspire, I'm free from struggling with the mask and the hose.
Inspire?
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside my body with a click of this button.
No mask.
No hose. Just sleep.
Give me this thing. Where are you going?
I'm going to get Inspire.
Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Learn more and view important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Right now, the Atlantic hurricane season is picking up as the earliest Category 4 storm on record has just made landfall. Hurricane Beryl hit the Caribbean nation of Grenada today with winds just shy of Category 5 strength. Warm waters fueled the storm's rapid growth. It went from an unnamed depression to Category 4 winds in just 2 days. Beryl is forecasted to weaken as it moves west, hitting Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula at Category 1 strength this weekend.
With 2 fires burning right now in the county, it's easy to see that wildfire season is in full swing. And crews all across Southern California are standing by, ready for pretty much anything.
And that is great because a new study finds that fires are happening more frequently. Rick Montanez is in Yuripa Valley with more on that study and what firefighters want you to know as they mop up a brush fire that came close to homes.
Right now, we know San Bernardino County Fire is still here in this neighborhood, keeping an eye on conditions. The fire is only 80% contained that started yesterday. And check out the hillside above us. You can see that bright Phos-Chek line. That's the fire retardant that was dropped on the hillside to keep the flames from moving down into this community here in Jurupa Valley. It started over on the Fontana side of this hillside yesterday afternoon. More than 400 acres burned in this quick-moving fire. This is a prime example of what fire crews have seen over the past few years locally as wildfires grow more extreme, burning hotter and faster than ever. A study published in Nature, Ecology, and Evolution says fires happen more often and are more extreme in the past 2 decades thanks to climate change. And in some areas, these extreme fire incidents have more than doubled in that time. I asked San Bernardino County Fire spokesperson Mike McClintock to review the information for us. He's been a firefighter for nearly 20 years. He says conditions locally have become more extreme in the past decade, which is why in the Inland Empire they use all appropriate resources available on each wildfire.
The biggest thing I can preach is that if we ask you to evacuate an evacuation order, do so. Allow our firefighters to get in there and provide structure protection or infrastructure protection and not worry about people trying to evacuate last minute.
And while conditions are growing more extreme, he says technology is advancing and it is helping in the firefighting efforts, including things like mapping and tracking the fire from the air so they can better prepare for where to deploy their crews. Of course, the heat and fire risk is still there, especially as we head toward 4th of July and the heat of the summer.
Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis. Carlene, we've been following a few brush fires burning in San Diego County today. It is hot out there and very dry.
It is very dry, Marcella, and we are also talking about hot conditions, but here's the thing, we're going to get even hotter throughout the week with the area of high pressure building in. When we take a look at the closest weather station to that wildfire that is burning near Boulevard, you are talking about some pretty dry conditions. Relative humidity is down to about 16%, and you also have the breeze that's picking up, so that's not helping with firefighting efforts. You have 18 miles per hour when it does come to sustained wind speed out of the southwest, and also talking about gusts that are still into the 20s. And so dry conditions are out there, and we're going to continue to have that in our forecast all the way throughout the week, especially across inland areas. And closer towards the coast, you have more of the marine layer influence, but obviously being more inland, you're lacking that, and that will be the case throughout much of the week all the way into next week. Current temperature of 86 degrees. You have widespread 80s across inland areas, even extending into the mountains. We're at 82 degrees for Julian. You have 81 degrees right now for Poway. You have those 60s and 70s right along the coast. When we look at wind speeds, we are seeing some areas that are still dealing with those wind speeds that are picking up, as mentioned, for Boulevard. Also seeing sustained wind speeds at 11 miles per hour. That's for Campo. The same for Borrego Springs. Everything that you see that's highlighted in that blue, that's with a sustained wind speed into the teens. We also have the gusts that are still picking up, so we're getting that westerly flow this early evening, and that will stick around for a couple more hours and then subside once we get past our sunset, which is roughly about 8 p.m. tonight. You got 17 miles per hour right now for Campo, also in the teens for La Mesa, as well as for Chula Vista, and the dry conditions that are out there, as we do have those values down into the 20s and double digits that we're seeing across inland areas into the 20s and 30s, even about 11% right now for Borrego Springs. So still with elevated fire weather concerns in our forecast. We're seeing that right along the 8. Everything that you see that's highlighted in that red, that is a high risk. Now, that does not mean that we don't have a risk west of the mountains because we have a lot of vegetation out there. We had no measurable rainfall for last month. We are into the drier months. But we're still holding on to the areas that had the higher risk, at least with this forecast model. But I would say do not let your guard down at all throughout anywhere in the county because we have a lot of dry brush that is out there after a very active rainy season. Now, when you start to see the forecast model moving into Tuesday, it's minimized just a little bit, but still there is that elevated concern right there along the 8. When we take a look at our 8-day microclimate forecast, temperatures are going to be climbing this week, even getting right back into the 90s across the inland valleys, as well as those upper 70s and low 80s for the coast. Triple-digit heat for the mountains as well as for the desert. We got a lot of alerts to talk about next half hour. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather quiz question for tonight. And just think back to, what was that, about a week ago, about 2 weeks ago? Yeah, what time did the summer solstice take place this year? A, at 10:50 a.m., B at 11:50 a.m., C at 12:50 p.m., or D at 1:50 p.m. And for the record, Marcella, I did put this in order for you.
Looks very orderly. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Just head to our website, cbs8.com/weather quiz to make your guess. New month, new prize. One lucky winner has a chance to win a one-night stay at Sequan Casino Resort. It includes a $100 credit for the retreat pool and cabanas. Okay. You can have fun this summer in the sun at Sequan with several restaurants, bars, live entertainment, and over 500,000 square feet of gaming. This prize is sponsored by Busy Bees Locks and Keys. You can get your new weather quiz question every Monday through Friday during this newscast and our 7 a.m. on the CW San Diego. Good luck. And for last month's winners, we did not forget about you. We're going to announce those next Monday.
All right, thanks, Carlene. Okay, if you're traveling for the 4th of July holiday this week, be ready for big crowds in the airports and on the highways.
AAA is predicting a record number of people to fly and hit the roads. Airports across the country are bracing for a crush of travelers. From last Thursday to Sunday, the TSA screened more than 11 million people. That is a more than 5% increase from last year during that time period. AAA is also estimating a record number of drivers, with more than 60 million people predicted to drive 50 miles or more to celebrate the holiday.
What we're seeing is that people are going to go on their trips no matter what, and especially this summer, we're seeing the numbers even bigger than last summer, which was also a record-setting summer.
AAA says the worst traffic in metro areas will be on Wednesday, July 3rd, and on Sunday, July 7th, as people all head back home.